I'm going to tell you a story, but the first thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can call me Oracle, because I don't want to talk to you. Welcome to the cult. Alright, I'm going to finish up this Antichrist article, I hope. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. In popular culture, the character of Michael Langdon was played by actor Cody Fern in the FX series American Horror Story Apocalypse, one of the seasons I didn't see actually, is labeled as the Antichrist and brings upon the end times. Antichrist is also the title of a track released by Eminem in his debut. In his album, not debut album, but his album, The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace. Antichrist is the title of a song released by British alternative band, the 1975 release in 2012 on the Face Down EP. The enthronement of the Antichrist is associated with conspiracy theories, particularly a satanic plot to destroy the Christian faith of St. Nicholas. Now, this one's interesting. In February 1900, the Christian Russian philosopher and mystic Vladimir Solovyov published an apocalyptic short tale of the Antichrist, showing his prophetic vision about the oncoming 20th century and the end of human history. It is prophesied that the Antichrist will present himself to the whole of humanity like a pacifist, animalist, ecologist, vegetarian, ecumenist. Ecumenism, also called interdenominationalism or ecumenicalism, is a concept and principle that Christians who belong to different Christian denominations should work together to develop close relationships among their churches. Biblical exegete, or someone who goes into detailed explanation of the Bible passages. Philanthropist, as a person who has faith in the progress of science and in universal forgiveness. In theology, apokatastasis is the restoration of creation to a condition of perfection. In Christianity, the term refers to a form of Christian universalism, often associated with origin, that includes ultimate salvation of everyone, including the damned and the devil. He will convoke an ecumenical council and will seek the consensus of all Christian confessions, granting something to each one. Now all of this is great. Like, all of this is great. The only thing that's a problem is will present himself. That's an issue. The thing is, it doesn't say anything about what he's actually like, except deeply implying that that's nothing like what he's like at all. So, other than like saying that the Antichrist will present himself as this, which is, if you're gonna be the Antichrist, it's a great cover. I'm just gonna say, I think it's a great cover. Like, if that's what you're gonna Bartisim as, like, that makes sense. But like, Vladimir, I'm loving you, but like, I understand where you're going for here, but like, what's the dude actually like? What's he going to do when the mask's off? Like, come on, dude. Like, help us out here. Like, you write us you show us a prophetic vision, and you tell us what happens before things go south. Okay, I guess thanks for like a half a heads up. Alright, now, other religions. Scientology, in a document originally released only to high-ranking followers, Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard referred to himself as the Antichrist, who would defend humanity against an alien invasion, for which he believed the second coming of Jesus was a metaphor. Many Scientologists who read this document for the first time found its contents highly upsetting. It was subsequently revised after Hubbard's death, and the new version lacking any reference to Hubbard as the Antichrist. That one I'm going to get into in a different episode, because like, I've looked at it, and that is disturbing and scary, actually. Baha'i. The Antichrist is considered to subvert the religion of God from the inner reality of man. As Abdul Baha narrates, Christ was the divine center of unity and love. Whenever discord prevails instead of unity, wherever hatred and antagonism take place of love and spiritual fellowship, Antichrist reigns instead of Christ. I'm going to nip up to the top real quick. Judaism. There are several warnings against false prophets in the Old Testament of the Bible. An anti-Messiah figure known as Armilius, Armilus, said to be offspring of Satan and a statue, appears in some schools of Jewish eschatology, such as 7th century Sefer Zerubbabel, and the 11th century Common Era Midrash Vayosha. He is stated to be the God and Messiah of the Christians, making him identical to Jesus. He is described as a monstrosity, bald-headed with one large and one small eye, deaf in the right ear and maimed in the right arm, while the left arm is 2½ ells long. Being considered similar to or even identical with Gog, he's believed his believed destruction by a Messiah ben Yosef, Messiah of the tribe of Joseph, symbolizes the ultimate victory of Jewish Messiah in the Messianic age. Islam. Al-Masih al-Dajjal, a deceitful Messiah, or in short, Ad-Dajjal, is an evil figure in Islamic eschatology who will appear after the coming of the Mahdi. The Mahdi is a figure in Islamic eschatology who is believed to appear at the end times to rid the world of evil and injustice. He is said to be a descendant of Muhammad and will appear shortly before Jesus. Yes, Jesus coming back actually part of Islamic eschatology as a new prophet specifically, or as a returning prophet. The Dajjal is never mentioned in the Quran, but he's mentioned and described in the Hadith literature. The Dajjal is described as one-eyed, blind in the right eye, and the blind eye looks like a bulging out grape. Like in Christianity, the Dajjal is said to emerge out in the east, though the specific location varies among the various sources. He will imitate the miracles performed by Isa, such as healing the sick and raising the dead, and the latter done with the aid of demons. He will deceive many people, such as magicians, half-castes, non-believers, but the majority of his followers will be Jews. Typical, typical racism between, typical interfaith, hatred. So typical. Alright, whatever. According to the Islamic eschatological narrative, the events related to the final battle before the Day of Judgment will appear in the following order. Hadith also reports the greater sign of the end, which includes the appearance of the Antichrist, Dajjal, and the appearance of the prophet Jesus to join the battle with him at Dabiq in Syria, as well as the arrival of the Mahdi. The guided one, as another hadith attributed to Ali ibn Atlib. Most of the Dajjal's followers are Jews, children of fornication. God will kill him in Syria at a pass called the Pass of Afik. 3 hours are gone from the day at the hand of Jesus. Imam Mahdi, the rightly guided one, is the Redeemer according to Islam, just like Dajjal. The Mahdi is never mentioned in the Quran, but his description can be found in Hadith literature. According to the Islamic eschatological narrative, he will appear on earth before the Day of Judgment. At the time of the second coming of Christ, the prophet Isa shall return to defeat to kill al-Masih al-Dajjal. Muslims believe both that Isa and the Mahdi will rid the world of wrongdoing, injustice, tyranny, ensuring peace and tranquility. Eventually, Dajjal will be killed by the Isa at the gate of Lud, who, upon seeing Dajjal, will cause him to slowly dissolve like salt in water. That sounds pretty prophetic. Ahmadiyya. Alright, this is the last one. Prophecy concerning the emergence of the Antichrist, al-Masih al-Dajjal, are interpreted in Ahmadiyya teachings as designated a specific group of nations centered upon a false theology, or Christology, instead of an individual, with the reference to the Antichrist as an individual indicating its unity as a class or system rather than a personal individuality. As such, Ahmadiyya identified the Antichrist collectively with the missionary expansion and colonial dominance of European Christianity throughout the world that was propelled by the Industrial Revolution. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad wrote extensively on this topic, identifying the Antichrist principally with colonial missionaries, who, according to him, were to be countered through the argumentation rather than physical warfare, and whose power and influence was to gradually disintegrate, ultimately allowing for the recognition and worship of God among Islamic ideals to prevail through the world on a period similar to the period of time it took for nascent Christianity to rise through Roman Empire, teaching that Jesus was a mortal man who survived crucifixion and died a natural death, as propounded by Ghulam Ahmad, has been seen by some scholars and described as a move to neutralize Christian soteriology of Jesus and to project the superior rationality of Islam. And I guess what that makes sense in that context. All right. And that actually wraps up all I'm going to do from the Antichrist on Wikipedia, because I've done quite a lot on the Antichrist from there, and quite frankly, like at this point, there has been so much that's honestly just like straight up history that's associated with the various associated Bible passages and the various eschatology associated with it that like I feel like I would be burdening with like just going into the history of the many times like people have been named the Antichrist, the complete list of popes that have been named the Antichrist, because it's like most of them. It's like most of them, from near as I can tell. Like at some point, it's just like at some point people just start calling the Pope the Antichrist. It was the thing. Heck, might still be a thing. Pope comments on the Antichrist. Someone's like, yeah, commenting on with you actually. It wouldn't surprise me if people do that. I'm not even joking. Maybe I'm the Antichrist. And I'm telling you how to defeat me because I'm stupid. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe.